The night descends with shadows deep. In blood heaven, no souls asleep. The blood moon rises in crimson light, casting its light upon the night. Winds howl through the hollow trees, a whispering chant carried on the breeze. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Lanterns flicker, casting ghastly forms. In the cemetery something stirs and storms. The graves crack open, their secrets revealed. In Bloodhaven no fate is sealed. A chill creeps in through stone and bone, as spirits of the lost make their presence known. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Through cobbled streets, footsteps fade, ghostly hands reach from the grave. No mercy here in the blood moon's glow. Bloodhaven's light is all you'll know. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Beneath the blood moon's gaze the shadows sway. In Bloodhaven's light the night will stay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Inner Sleuths live stream. Today, we got some stuff. I was almost about to say we got a lot to talk about, but there's really not too much here. And for those of you who are really curious about what's going on, just read the title. The launcher's going away. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the implications of it, what it may mean for some other people who don't use Steam. We're going to get into that, and we're going to talk about their quote autumn update. That's what we're going to talk about today. I feel like that's quite a bit to talk about, considering there's not a lot to talk about going on right now. I feel like it's been very quiet over in the world of PAX Day. We got the PvP update that came out. We did a podcast on that, an episode of PaxCast. It was marking Verse 4's arrival into the world. And you know, I feel like it has mixed results. I feel like it didn't really get a big peak of players. From the people who I've talked to, PvP is not their main focus of PAX Day. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, a little bit mixed in with the news that we have. Before we get started, though, ton of people in chat, absolutely ton of people. You guys are really turning out for this one. We got Orabelle, we got Maven, we have Corey, Jacksum, Blimpy, Little Sweet Killer, we got Black Pickle, EOTB, Loop, Cat Died, Symbolic, thank you for the super chat before we even got started. Says, love you guys. We love you, man. Thanks for tuning in. We got Eggbert. Eggbert gave us our first super chat towards our super chat goal. 1 out of 5 super chats towards the super chat goal before the opening song even ended. Technically, we're at 2 because Symbolic gave us one before the stream even went live. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It really means the world to me. But we got Eggbert. Who else do we have? We have Amber, Crimson Beard, Havoc, Tom. Tons of people in this stream. Thrunai. Really great to see you guys. share this one around because there's a bunch. If I missed anybody, sorry, Cooter's in here. We got Cooter as well. Share this one around. A ton of really important stuff. Nothing, super good to talk about, but it's very important nevertheless. We have some very, very, very important news about what's going to happen with your plots and the tokens and this quote update going forward. And we're going to touch on all of it here in this podcast, this episode of PaxCast. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Symbolic says, there is two, LOL. Appreciate you, man. Huge shout out to all of my channel members. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. You guys are the reason why I'm able to keep running the community full time. For those of you who don't know, I host servers, I manage the community, I run the website, I run all the guilds, clans, orgs for various different games. I do a lot of different stuff to help build the community. I consider myself a community builder first and foremost. The Cheeky Buggers United is that community. It's a great place to hang out and meet new people. If you guys are looking for an awesome community to play any games together, whether it be PAX Day or beyond, we play Ashes. We've really been doing a lot of Ashes of Creation. I started a new podcast called Verifier for Ashes of Creation. We hop into Star Citizen, which has been really taking off. Pun not intended, but it has really been taking off with their development process as well for Star Citizen. Some really cool stuff. I want to do another operation, another mobilization for the Inner Sleuths org over there, going into those dark zones, those underground Site Bs or whatever they're called. Going to be a lot of fun to do that. We got a lot of really cool stuff going on. Every Friday we do Friday night game night. So even though PAX Day has been very slow, there have not been a lot of people. Let's see how many people have been in PAX Day recently. I think the numbers are actually slightly up. This is like the most I've seen at any given time, really. These are actually pretty good peak numbers, but a far cry from the previous peaks we had. Somewhere down in here is the peak from their PvP update. I think it was like 371 right there. That's the peak. These are all the other update peaks. So you can really see how well received or not well received this current update was. And that update was about PvP. They're really taking a stance on this being a PvP game, a PvP extraction game. They're making most of the end game loops and things tied into this. It's going to be a PvP game. I called it really early on. I put out a PaxCast episode about it. We had a chat about it, how the end game of PAX Day is truly going to be PvP and everything else is taking a side seat. But at times we're going to have to talk about things, guys, that are not fun to talk about. I know a lot of people are really upset about the direction PAX Day is going. I'm still here. We're here for the long haul. I'm going to be checking it out with you guys every step along the way. We're going to see everything it has to offer. I'm not here to try and sell you guys on anything. If you think PAX Day sounds cool and you want to hop in for the first time, be my guest. I got links and stuff down below. But I am not here to try and push anyone towards anything. We're just here to talk about the news and really give you guys an outlet to chat about stuff. Orabelle, thank you for the super sticker. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But yeah, a huge shout out to all my channel members. You guys are the reason why I'm able to do all this stuff, right? It's why we're able to sustain having private servers for all the different games we do and pop them up whenever needed and everything in between. So thank you guys so much for that. If you want to support my work, you can click that join button down below. We are building a very fun community. We vet and verify every person who joins to make sure that they're acting in good faith at all times. We are here to have fun. We are role players at our heart. At our very core, we are role players. And that means that we do our best to try and role play everywhere. And some platforms like PAX Day was a really great platform and is a really great platform for role play, but it's severely lacking on the content side. But if you guys, again, are looking for a great community, come on over, type !Discord in chat. That'll get you a link over to our Discord server where you can come and hang out with all kinds of people. You can put in an application on our website to join any of our clans, guilds, orgs, just to become part of the community, become a verified CBU member, do Friday night game night with us or anything in between. We're probably going to be doing a Minecraft server coming up pretty soon, maybe getting back into my Hallowed Ground mod pack. We'll be doing whitelist for that. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to do in the future? Whatever the future brings us, come on over and hang out with us. If you'd like to put in a web application on the website, there you go. There's the link. You can use those commands at any point during my live streams. And if you guys would like to interact with Tangia, you can also type !Tangia. That'll get you a link over to our Tangia page that does directly support the channel as well. There will be all kinds of different little dungeons and stuff that you'll see pop up. And if you have the Tangia page pulled up and you're logged in, you can join in on those dungeons for free to help the people who paid for those dungeons. You pay like with these little tokens and stuff. It's a fun game though. It's a fun little mini game. Crimson Beard, thank you for the 3rd out of 5th super chat towards our super chat goal. Guys, barely into the intro here, and you guys are smashing the goals. The turnout for the stream is insane. Share this with your friends. We got a lot to talk about, but I'm not going to waste your guys' time. I'm going to do my best to read all of your comments. I will always read super chats, so if you want something absolutely read, throw it in a super chat. We'll talk about it. I do my best to read all channel members' messages. So the people you see, the little stars next to their name, those are our channel members. We have some merch that's going up for sale very, very soon. We have some little Order of the Blood Brother runic emblems with our sigil on it. It's going to be pretty cool. You guys are going to want to get your hands on those. And members will get discounts on those. We have a bunch of stuff going on over at Cheeky Buggers United, but thank you guys for all of the support. Really, really, really appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and unpause Tangia. Amber with the 4th out of 5th super chat says, I want to participate. You guys are just absolutely obliterating the super chat goal. We haven't even started to talk about the news. This is going to be a big stream, guys. Even though there's not too much in the form of content, I really want to hear from you guys. I try to read every single person's message. I really do. Holy crap. Pickle send in 5 Inner Sleuth gifted memberships. James Brown, Altered Ego Gaming, Voodoo Actual, Burger Pops, and Queen. You guys were all just given 1 month of channel membership here on the channel. You guys are spoiling me today. Holy crap, you guys are trying to turn it into a brisket day, aren't you? Ange says, me too. Absolutely smashing the goal. We are 29 minutes into this stream, and like 5 minutes of that, 10 minutes of that was waiting screen. You guys have destroyed this. Pickle, thank you so much for the gifted channel memberships. Fadril, great to see you. Orabel with a super chat says, I am tired of the PAX lies. We need private servers. Orabel, I have been saying that for a while. I think that PAX Day private servers would be amazing. There's a lot of different ways they could monetize that if they really wanted to. There's so many different ways they could go about doing it. I am very, very ready for private servers as well. Imagine it, if you will. Close your eyes and let me take you on a journey to a place where CBU has a private server for PAX Day. All types of clans and communities coming and getting verified for the Fellowship of the Free Cities, all having shown to have been acting in good faith, being granted access into the walled garden that is CBU. Everyone is welcome to come and apply and join as long as they're acting in good faith. The process in and of itself of vetting and verifying, I think that in and of itself keeps out most of the trolls and stuff. But imagine a place, come with me on a journey, where there can be mods made for PAX Day, much like any other private server game. And we're able to make sure that we are flourishing with like-minded people who want to act in good faith and keep in character and out of character separated. They want to go on fun adventures and not have to worry about the crazy oppression of PvP that comes with big MMO games. Private servers really could be the way. What is going on here? Symbolic with 5 gifted memberships. They went to Satana, Otis, Imperial Orc, Jess Calamity, Kai Lupus. 10 gifted memberships have gone out, guys. Symbolic, thank you so much. You guys are spoiling me today. We haven't even started the news. Cooter Pooter, member for 3 months. 3 months should be longer. I honor myself. And the number 69, nice. Cooter, thank you for your continued support, man. Thank you for 3 months of being a junior sleuth. Again, you guys are the reason why. Oh, but just headbutted my microphone. I brought the mic in close for that let's go on a journey thing. You guys are the reason why we're able to have private servers. You know, if PAX Day ever lets us have private servers, you guys are the reason why those exist. Thank you guys for all the super chats and all the gifted memberships. You guys are honestly spoiling me this stream. There's a ton of chat that I'm sure I was not able to read. There's a bunch that's flying by. Silo, I see you in chat. Great to see you, man. A private CBU server would be a dream. Absolutely a dream. And I think more and more people are coming to that conclusion as time goes on. It's really going to allow people to play the game the way they want. More and more people are coming to that same conclusion. Orabel says, I agree, Silo. Really great to see you guys. Crimson Beard says, would save the game, truly. You think private servers would save the game, Crimson Beard? Dirty D's gaming sounds like communism. What sounds like communism? Explain to me. Let's have a conversation about that, Dirty D. Hey, if you think communism is people wanting to play games the way that they want to play them with the people who are going to act in good faith and not be trolls and bad faith actors and have that walled garden, if that sounds like communism, then private servers would be the end of the world for you, I guess. But if you want to have a further conversation about that, I'm willing to entertain it. Let's have a chat about it. How do private servers mean communism to you? Fadril says, definitely no private servers for PAX. You definitely don't want to see private servers, or you think that they're not going to happen, Fadril. And this isn't like a podcast about private servers, right? This not even what this is about. This is about talking about the news, but I'm willing to chat with anything that you guys want to talk about with it. Cooter says, I agree. PAX Day private servers, give us source code, let us mod, come out with modding tools. We will do what the devs can't. And that normally is what happens with a lot of games. I mean, look at games like Minecraft. As soon as they get modding support. Red says Cooter is right. And says, I need more Silo in my life. Silo says, been working my ass off. Well, I'm glad that you're able to make this stream, Silo. It's great to see you. And says 100% Cooter. I mean, I know that there's going to be people on both sides of the private server thing, but the way I see it is, if you have regular servers, people can choose to go play on those regular servers, right? When you have private servers, all you're doing is enabling people who want to play on private servers to play on private servers. That's the way I see it. Orbel says, I'm not saying only private servers. I don't think anyone should, or what did you say here? The chat is bouncing by so fast. She says, I'm not saying only private servers. I don't think anyone is just allow both. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just allow both. 100%. Fadril says, totally disagree. PAX should not be private servers. And you're allowed to have that point of view, Fadril, 100%. I think a lot of people are wanting private servers though. And there are some who just don't want private servers. But the way I see it is, it's like, why should you stop someone else from having fun the way that they would want to have fun? That's the way that I see it at its core, right? If you want to play a game with just one other person, and that's what would bring you the most fun, who am I to be like, no, a game shouldn't be co-op? We can wish for it, right? Obviously, it's not going to change at the end of the day. They're going to do what they're going to do. But I would like to have private servers because then we can have modding support and we can exclude the bad faith actors that Mainframe have proven to us that they don't want to exclude. I mean, even like in Ashes, right? There is a lot of bad faith actors in Ashes of Creation. There are big guilds like Polar that are ruining the experience for a lot of people. And I think that people should be able to enjoy games the way that they want to. That's my take on it. Templar, great to see you. Welcome into the stream. It's been a while, brother. Great to see you there. Red says DayZ did it, and the community servers are by far more legit than the officials. I've seen it. UTB says they are too controlling and money grub hungry to offer private servers. And that may be the case, but I mean, I still like to just make my case and speak my piece about it. And everyone's welcome to have their different opinions on it. Some people say that like, well, private servers would take away from the population on the main servers. And I've beat this horse over and over and over again just by saying like, well, no one is entitled to our time. So then you'd come down to the option of, well, play the game or don't play the game if you don't have private servers, if you did not want to play in the public servers. And that's perfectly fine if that's how devs want to do it. Again, it's just an opinion that I think private servers would allow. It would allow at least a portion of the population to enjoy a game the way that they would want to. And that's my take on it. Options are good. Otis says, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the more options, the better, right? If people can play co-op, if people can play however they want. I mean, some people want to try and play PAX Day as a speedrun game, and they want to go from start to finish as fast as possible, like it's some Super Mario, or, people want to play games all different types of ways. And I respect other people's opinions. Some people don't want private servers, and that's fine. They can play on public ones. It comes down to like Minecraft too. Like I could not imagine playing Minecraft on a public server. Like I can only play that on a whitelisted server. And that would go for a lot of games. For instance, V-Rising is a big one. They don't have any moderation on their public servers at all, which is kind of how PAX Day's been. There's really ultimately no moderation at the end of the day. And it just becomes a free-for-all for trolls and bad faith actors and stuff. And that's why, at least having a private server with rules and stuff, you get to enforce that, right? If people are going to break the rules and be ding-dongs, then they can get removed, and you could do stuff about it. You could fix the problems that are happening there and keep all the bad faith actors out. And that's what our community is all about, right? Every single person is welcome to come. Every community is welcome to come and join the Fellowship of the Free Cities with, regardless of their roleplay type, everybody is free to come, but we have a charter. Is it wrong of us to have a charter and have rules that people need to abide by? Some people say yes, others say no, they love it. So, everyone has their own opinions on those things, right? Havoc says, I just want the servers to be done wiping. I can't motivate myself or my group with everything when everything will wipe in the next few weeks or months. Yeah, that's one of the hard things. But that's why early access is not going to be for everybody. That's just the cold hard truth about it. Early access and wipes there's not going to be for everyone, but I get it. It's rough when there's, wipes happening and you can't make progress and stuff. There's a bunch of chat flying by, so I'm surely missing some of your guys' chat. It's not my intention, though. I'm trying to get to all of it. This is going to be a pretty big stream. A lot of people are fired up about this and the whole PAX Day launcher going away and that whole debacle. A lot of people are going to be burnt by that. Orabel says Otis gets it. More options for play styles is never a negative. And that's my opinion on it, for sure, yeah. The more ways that people can choose to play it. Symbolic says, our community is our PAX server. With the ability to mod, oh man, that's a dream. I agree 100%. Could you imagine that? All of the things that we want, people would be programming dragons and bosses and all kinds of APIs for cool systems and factions and things. It would be really, really cool, man. Cooter says, prioritize everything, let us mod everything. Rahar, look at Arma 3, oh heck, the whole Arma series. The game is pretty bare bones, literally an engine with basic stuff. Modders create the game. And that works for a lot of games. Fadril says, I would not play on private PAX server. And again, that's your opinion. I think a lot of people want private servers and some people don't want private servers. I think it's like Minecraft, right? Some people will only play Minecraft on a big public server. Others are like, well, I only want to play with my 5 people I want to play with. And everyone's different and everyone's entitled to the way that they want to play games. So for your sake, Fadril, I hope they always have public servers. But for anyone who wants private servers, I hope that one day, maybe potentially by some stroke of craziness, maybe we get private servers. Who knows? And it'll probably never happen, let's be honest. We're just theory crafting and chatting. Crimson Beard says, or at least they call it quits and do private servers as a last resort. Maybe. I don't know. I guess time will tell. There has been a lot of buzz about stuff like that, though, especially with the direction of the game. Ange says, especially if we could talk Silo into making mods for it, dream come true. The Templar Bazi says, we could mod in an actual game. We could mod in an actual game into PAX Day. Orabel says, I'm so mad about the launcher. I hope. Yeah, let's get into the news a little bit here. We were having some great conversations, and I absolutely want to continue those. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'll do my best to entertain. But let's get into some of the news here, because you bring up a good point about this. They're axing the launcher, guys. The PAX Day launcher is going away. Now, I have some theories about as to why they may be doing this. The service has been plagued with some issues from the beginning. That service comes from Exola, or however you pronounce it. That's their marketing team or whatever. That's their payment processor. And they are the ones who put on the launcher, as far as I know. That launcher's had a lot of problems. They're finally decommissioning it. I kind of thought that this was going to be a thing before we even knew about it, because they are probably trying to push it all and consolidate it down to one team and cut overhead cost. Having a separate launcher, that adds cost to maintain and push the updates in 2 different places. That's staff. Someone has to do those things, right? It doesn't just happen automatically. So I think that they're cutting costs where they can. They fired a third of their staff earlier in the year, and I think that was to save on overhead cost as well. A lot of games like Star Citizen and Ashes, they're expanding their teams, and PAX Day is downsizing their team. So I think it's to save cost. I don't know if the money's running out. We've had conversations about this stuff before too. I'm not sure if the money's running out or not, but I think that they are trying to cut overhead and staff when it comes to the decommissioning of the PAX Day launcher. Now they say, hello Paxians, we want to share some important news for those of you who are using the PAX Day launchers to play. In the coming weeks, we will be decommissioning the PAX Day launcher. Now, let me know in chat if you guys use the PAX Day launcher. I know there's a lot of people who exclusively use the PAX Day launcher. I know there's a lot of people who exclusively use Steam. So there's people on both sides, right? The issue is, I know several people who are in our community who do not have Steam. They do not want to have Steam. Steam gives them issues in their country of origin, like where they're from. Steam just doesn't, the games aren't allowed to be there or something like that. There, you get into a lot of regional issues with Steam. And then it comes down to like the payment methods and things like that. I think though they're trying to consolidate everything down to Steam. So that way, all of the payment processing for the subscriptions and everything will go through Steam, and it'll be all in one team, more easily managed. They don't have to worry about separate locations for all of this stuff. But they are decommissioning the PAX Day launcher, which means that you will no longer be able to access the game via the launcher anymore. I'm not sure if in here they tell us exactly when. They just say in the coming weeks, so we don't know exactly when that's going to happen. But to compensate for this, and again, this isn't really compensation, this is kind of the bare minimum of them shifting you over to a new platform, but they say to compensate for this, all founders currently using the PAX Day launcher will receive a Steam key later this week. So supposedly sometime this week, anyone who has a launcher account, you guys watch out for an email, you guys will get an email that will have a Steam key that you can activate over on a Steam account. Now, the problem is some people already have PAX Day. Some people already have PAX Day on their Steam account. So what that means is, and there's been a ton of discussion over on the PAX Day Discord about this, that means that you are going to have to open up a new Steam account. You're gonna have to open up a brand new Steam account, which comes with all of its own problems. You have to, new email, new all of this stuff. It's a pain in the butt, right? And some people, they'll have to open a Steam account for the very first time. Now, without naming names, I like I said, I know several people who they do not want to use Steam. What are they supposed to do in this situation? They bought the game with the understanding that they can buy it and play it through their own launcher. I get it, these things change, and I'm sure that they have the legal right to decommission this and push you over to another platform. I don't know in different countries of origin if you guys are then entitled to a refund. I know that some people are probably going to be trying to seek refunds from this. And I'm not sure if it will be granted because I don't know the legal standing when it comes to all this. I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be one, but I think that people are going to run into issues where they don't want a Steam account or can't have a Steam account for various reasons. They bought the game through the official website and launcher and stuff so that they could avoid Steam. And now they're going to be given a Steam key, which will ultimately be useless to them. Maven says, I already have a couple Steam accounts, so now I'll need more. Exactly. And it just becomes a big problem, right? Some people just don't want 15 different Steam accounts for all the different accounts they have. So I'm not too sure what those people are going to have to do. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about doing it and how it's received, but it looks like we just have no choice. In the coming weeks, you'll get your Steam key, and that will grant access to the game on Steam going forward. All of the founder pack perks, including the Galleon Gargoyle received for purchasing through the official website, will carry over seamlessly, they say. So you'll still get all of your rewards. You're not going to lose any of that. The part that I'm curious about is once you have it on Steam, it's going to make you log in. You'll probably have to log in with your existing account credentials because that account is the one that has the plots placed and has your characters. Now, I know that not all of that's really going to matter for too much longer because it's all going to get wiped soon anyways, but I'm wondering what's going to happen to people if they just let Steam auto log them in. Because like on Steam, I don't have to log in. It just automatically logs me in using my Steam credentials. So I wonder what's going to happen to people if they already have an account with the launcher. The launcher is going away. They're going to get a Steam key. They're going to activate that Steam key if they choose to make a Steam account. And then from there, they're going to have to log in using their PAX Day account credentials, I would imagine. You can get to the loading screen on, if you guys have used Steam, you can get to the loading screen where you put in your credentials. And that may lead to people having like multiple accounts because now they're going to have their existing PAX Day account and the one that's registered to their Steam because Steam will auto log you into a like Steam created account. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen with that. It's going to be a confusing time, but we'll be keeping up with it as much as we can. For Jules says, regarding launcher, while I don't use it, I really feel bad for those who do and prefer using it. Right, because they're going to lose that option to be able to engage with the game the way that they want. They're not going to be able to use that launcher. Feel even worse for those who only use it. Exactly. I mean, again, I know people in our community who are just they're adamantly against Steam. What are they supposed to do? They purchased the game with the understanding that they could play it through that launcher, and now they're losing access. I really am curious if that's going to make them legally liable for refunds. I'm just not sure, but I really do feel bad for Drill. I resonate with that. I really feel bad for those people, because the people who I can think of too, they're the ones who are still really trying to play the game, even in its current state. They're the ones who are really trying to go hard on it. Orbel says, Pax have a guide on how to merge your launcher account to Steam. Got to do it before you open the game on Steam. Oh, where's that located? It's not on their website. I haven't seen it. Is that only on their Discord? So now the only people who are going to know about this needing to pre-merge stuff are going to be the ones who are on their Discord, which is a small minority of people are on the official Discord. That's very interesting, though. So they will have to merge their account before you open the game on Steam. Yeah, I don't know if it'll let you send links here, but if you can send it to me over on Discord, void_lock, I'll take a look at that, and I'll make sure I can distribute that to as many people as I possibly can. It does sound kind of messy. Yeah, I'm worried about it, but I mean, I just really feel bad for the people who don't want to use Steam at all. Some people avoid Steam for the sole purpose that they don't want to support Steam even. I think that they should have the right to do that, especially when they pre-purchased it on the understanding that they have a different avenue, and now they're being forced into it. Maven says they will need to link the Steam account to their Play PAX Day website that they previously had set up on their own launcher. Then, depending on what Steam account you're logged in to, will control it. Sounds pretty confusing. Sounds pretty messy, yeah. Blimpy says, I wonder if people can refund from Steam after the transfer. They probably, well, I don't think so, because Steam only gives refunds for games that were purchased on the Steam store. If you purchase a game on, like, let's say G2A or another Green Man Gaming or another third-party key seller, and you activate it on Steam, you're not entitled to a refund because you paid. They did not handle your transaction. So you can't get a refund after you activate it on Steam. You'll have no transaction to show. It looks like a third-party seller gave you a key. It's the same thing for the keys that I use, like for giveaways. Whenever I get keys for giveaways, those keys have no monetary value because they were never paid for on Steam. They were third-party keys. And I think Steam is pretty strict with those third-party keys, because people will sell them in other places and they'll abuse those keys. Like, people will get keys for giveaways and then they will sell them and things like that, which is pretty shady. Dirty D Gaming says, multiple mainframe accounts, multiple Steam accounts. There's no difference. Still simple accounts unless you hate Steam. Or still multiple accounts unless you hate Steam. Well, I know some people, they only have one account and it's not on Steam. So what's going to happen to those people? Orbel says, I sent it to you. But if they aren't careful, Steam might make them a new account, like Fallout 76 does happen to me. It has happened to you, you're saying, with Fallout 76? Yeah, I really hope that it doesn't somehow lock them out. Fadril says, plots lock, not disappear yet, if I recall correct. No, they will. They will disappear. We'll get to that. Yep, we're going to get to that whole 3 days thing. So that's the news with the launcher. I'm going to try and get as much info on this as I possibly can and share this with you guys in the coming days. But let me pull up what I was just sent here and have a look. I can't click that link because it'll open up a whole page on my overlay here, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, it sounds like make sure you guys merge your accounts first. I'll share the link over here actually. Hold on. Oh, this is on their official page. Okay, let me pull this up. 1 second, guys. Bear with me here. Crimson Beard says, only way to make this smoother is by giving us more content, farming, fishing, mounts. Well, we're not going to be getting mounts. They already made that clear, and we're not going to be getting any new PvE content for the foreseeable future, according to their recent announcements. Maven says, plots and characters should follow over to the Steam conversion as long as linked with the PAX Day website account. Yeah, so that's the key, and some people aren't going to know about that. Oh, I thought the plot locks for a short time, no building, etc. Yeah, but I think it's 3 days the plots lock for Fadril. We'll talk about all that. We'll bust it all down for you guys, Fadril, don't worry, when we go over to the other article here. Yeah, they said no mounts, especially at very least, no rideable mounts for the foreseeable future. They said it's too hard and they have too many other things to work on, and they feel like mounts don't really flow with the world. The world's not really designed for it. They said maybe something that could, and this was a hard maybe, something that could be a pack mule or, carry things for you. But in terms of rideable mounts, it's kind of not even being worked on. And they said no bosses, no world bosses, ultimately no PvE content coming in the foreseeable future. They're really working on getting the PvP stuff fleshed out. And let's go over to the other article. Oh, they have a support article right here. Actually, I should have just read this. For more information, let's check this really quick. It's not going to look right on your guys' stream because this is not a regular news article, but I might be able to. No, I can't switch over midstream either. I have a thing that shows wide pages, but this page here, I just linked it for you guys. You can pull this up. This has the information on how you actually migrate. Step-by-step migration. You have to do all kinds of step 1, create a Steam account. Step 2, retrieve your Steam code from your email. Step 3, link your Steam account. This step is required for your Steam key to work. Go to account.playpaxday.com/linked-accounts. Link your Steam account or confirm it's already linked. Redeem your code in Steam. In the Steam client, click Games, activate a product on Steam, enter the code they gave you. Step 5, download and play from Steam. Install PaxDay through the Steam library, launch the game. You'll have access to your avatars and plots as before. So this linking part is the important part. But you guys can follow that link there. I'll post this article there for you guys as well to follow. So there's that. And there you go. That should give you guys the information you need. Hopefully everybody finds this little excerpt here and they know not to just activate it. Because I think if they just activate that key without linking and doing all those 5 steps, it's going to activate their game and it's going to make a new Steam, air quote, Steam account for that. And then all of their other stuff will be lost, I would fear, on that. But let's go over to this other article and we'll talk for Drill and everyone else. We're going to talk about this autumn. So this is what they're calling it. They're calling it the autumn content update. I find this a little disingenuous. Now you guys can let me know what you think, because this is open dialogue here. I want to hear from you guys as long as you're acting in good faith. Gwydion says sucks for multiple account holders. It definitely does. It definitely does. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you think this warrants the name Autumn Content Update? This indicates that we're getting some form of content, and you could argue that this token system for plots is content, but I think when people hear this, they're really thinking that this is going to be some type of playable content. That's what I got excited when I first autumn content update. Yo, what's in this? Let's see. Content update. We've been waiting months and months and months and months and months, and all we got was this PvP stuff, right? We can make an oil from PvP. Okay, cool. They're trying to push us into PvP a little more. We get it. The end game's PvP. But a lot of people saw this autumn content and we were very excited. Orbel says, or fall themed event. Maybe, yeah. I mean, it could have been anything, right? It could have been anything to throw us a bone. Could have been decorations of fall themed stuff. Really, I was really excited about this one. Maven says they should have left the quote content part off. That is exactly what I thought. Should have been quotation around content. Red says, quote, content takes away a method to launch the game. Well, so here's what they talk about for their content. Yeah, that'd have been cool if they gave us some more ways to express fall themed stuff in game. But here's what they're calling their autumn content update. Now, I will give them credit right here. They do say it's a minor content update, but I don't really feel like this is content. This is getting a new system that is required for their monetization in place. They say, hello, Paxians. We wanted to announce that we are ready to deploy a new minor content update for PAX Day, which will go live on September 25th. So this is going to happen tomorrow. And this is important for everyone who has not played the game in a little while. And we'll get into that when we get a little further down into this article. But if you have not played PAX Day in several months, you are not going to want to miss what we're going to have to talk about here, because it's extremely important for the future of your plots and the rest of your time in early access, probably leading up till launch. Egbert says, content removal, sneaky building removal. Libby says, I am not content with this content. EOTB says, feel another par song a brewing. Oh, you're going to make another song? Havoc says more of a systems update. Absolutely. And that's what I felt would have better portrayed it, but whatever. That's the title they chose to go with. It is what it is, right? I thought like a new system or new feature coming online, fleshing out of the plot system, something like that. But autumn content really caught people's eye. So maybe it did what it was supposed to. But on September 25th, this is going to go live. It's going to be 10 a.m. UTC time. You can convert that. It's going to last about an hour. Sometimes they're less time. Sometimes they're more time. What is this content? What is in this content update? Let's see the details, they say. Here's the very short details about what is in this autumn content update. So the release notes are as follows. This update introduces the new token system for plots, which we're currently testing. We want to thank you in advance for trying it out and sharing your feedback, which we absolutely should do. To help you get started, a detailed tutorial has been added in-game that explains precisely how the system works. We strongly recommend going through it, especially if you're playing in a localized version of the game, in a different language. You're going to want to do this tutorial, they're saying, and let us know if anything seems unclear. So they're wanting people to test that localization, which I think is great. Again, localization brings the game to a broader audience. It allows more people to enjoy the game. And I'm all for people being able to play, more people being able to play games. And that's why I love options when it comes to gaming. So they want people to really test out the localization to make sure that the tutorial makes sense. These plot management and tokens are as follows. When you log in after the maintenance, you'll be able to spend the plot tokens that you received according to the Founders Pack you purchased for early access. Be aware that this is the part that confuses me too. Be aware that some players may see more tokens than intended. This is a known bug, so they know about this bug, and they're saying that it's going to be fixed at release. Now, I think, this is just my hypothesis, but I think that this update means that we are closer than ever. We are closer than ever to a full release. I think it's just around the corner, guys. They are working on the systems that are absolutely crucial for to be there for the game to go live. We don't, think about it like this. We don't need bosses or dragons or mounts or new worlds to explore. We don't need like all of that stuff, that actual content to us. That is not required for the game to go live. The things that are required for the game to go live are going to be things like this token system. We don't even need the guild system permissions and all of these other things that we really desperately need and want. Those are not essential for the game to go live. The things that are absolutely mandatory for the game to go live are going to be these token systems and any other monetization things that they need to get in the back end. Because if there's no way for them to take your money for the plots and to have a system for the tokens to be redeemed and all of that, if that's not fleshed out, the game can't go live really, unless they're planning on the game going live completely free and you don't have to pay for your plots, which they're not going to do that. That's why I think they're focusing on this. I think we're closer than ever. Let me know what you guys think. Does this feel like we're closer than ever to release? Now, I think they should push the release back. That's my own personal opinion. I've heard from a lot of other people they wish that they would push it back as well. Just postpone. What's the rush, right? Well, I think the rush may be money. I think the money may be drying up. Again, just an assumption based off of various different sources of information. I think they're kind of pushing this release because they need to. But let me know what you guys think about all of those things. Otis says these things can be added progressively with lore as it unfolds. Are you talking about like gameplay things can be added progressively? Yeah, and that's why it's not like absolutely mandatory. To us, having those systems and actual content is kind of mandatory. But for the game to go live, they really just need these systems fleshed out. That's why I think ultimately, that's why they're working on those systems and not trying to give us mounts, right? When they say that mounts are too hard to integrate and it takes away time from other things, these are those other things they're talking about. Havoc says, but it is a bit insane to go to 1.0 with nothing but monetization systems and features that have been in place for over a year now. I agree. I completely agree. And a lot of people agree with that. And I think that's why I know there's some other people who have opinions on that in the audience. I want to hear from you guys. Do you think the game should be postponed? let's just say money wasn't the issue. Do you think the game is in a good state that it should go to 1.0 already? Get the monetization model in place and start paying for it? Do you guys think that that is the good move? Or do you think that if possible, if money wasn't the issue, that they should hold off and get some more gameplay stuff added in? Give us the barony system, give us the knight system, give us the castle sieges, give us the dragons if there's going to be dragons, give us bosses, give us, fixed AI so the dungeons aren't so buggy, give us all of those other things. Maven says, I suspect they are, let me start over here. The chat is bouncing. I suspect they have more almost ready for 1.0 that we'll likely will not have seen in a while. To be honest, I would love to see it take more time to cook if money wasn't an issue. So you think they have more ready for 1.0 than we know about? See, I'm not convinced on that because those things would need to be tested. I'm not convinced that they have some people think there's a theory going around that they have, and this could be hopium, it could be copium, I don't know, but some people think that there is a build that is just chock full of awesome content that they're just sitting on. I don't see them doing that, especially with how the numbers have fallen off so much. I don't think they're just sitting on it. Loop says, I just got deja vu. Crimson Beard says, honestly, we're still in beta phase in truth. Orabel says it should be postponed until we get more fleshed out things like mounts, magic back, granular plot, and clan permissions. Yes. Agree on all accounts there. Havoc says, Maven, I suspect that they have the Fae function and a few dungeons complete, but not much more than that. See, I'm not even convinced on that stuff. I've not seen anything that would lead me to believe that they're sitting or sandbagging on content. At first, I had a little bit of copium and hopium, and I thought maybe they had a bunch of crazy stuff that we just didn't know about, but I just don't see why that would make sense. I don't see why it would make sense to sit on it. The more people that get salty with it early on, the less people they have there to root for them across the finish line. I don't know. I don't see it like coming out as 1.0 because it's always been kind of a niche game, right? I don't see it getting to 1.0 and now all of a sudden this massive crowd of millions of people are going to just all of a sudden be interested in it, especially when the reviews are as bad as they are and the player counts are as low as they are. I mean, I try to stay as positive as possible and I try to be as fair as possible, but I'm not going to BS anybody, right? I'm going to always tell you guys the truth, my honest opinion. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not a doomsayer. I'm just having honest conversations, and I really don't think they're sandbagging us. I think what we see is what we got so far. I think they're scrambling to get these monetization models in place so they can go 1.0. Jackson says whether they need money or not, they should postpone the 1.0 launch. Honestly, if they are hurting for money, just be upfront. See, but they can't. I don't think that that's something that their funders are allowing them to. You got to remember, they got a lot of money from Anderson Horowitz and Riot Games. Riot Games is owned by Tencent. Tencent is from the CCP. They have a lot of companies and stuff who are invested in this. They have shareholders, It's going to be a bumpy road. But I think that holding out 1.0 to when they have some stuff that can really wow us, because let's look back to the beginning of PAX Day's conception. What were we promised? Maybe promised is the wrong word. What were we shown as the vision for the game? I was shown adventure and mystery and myths and legends coming to life and boundless PvE adventures. And while we have had some crazy awesome adventures, no small part to the great community. James Brown says, wait, they're already talking about 1.0. They've been talking about 1.0 for quite some time, James. It's potentially only a few short months away from when we're going to be getting 1.0. We're not far off, and I think that this autumn, quote, content update lets us know that we are closer than ever to that 1.0 release. Maven says, we saw world bosses before, evidence of physical status effects, more enemies, etc. I mean, we've even seen how many weapons have they taken away from us at this point. I think they're trimming to take out the things that they don't think they can properly complete. I mean, look at the enchanting and look at what we had before with enchanting, how much more of a fleshed out and fuller system it was. Look at the clothing with how much more fleshed out and full it was, and then look at what the systems that we have now. I think they're trimming. If I had to guess, it looks like they're trimming down on stuff because there's things that they don't think, like with the mounts, they don't think they can complete that from when they have this vision of releasing to 1.0. So they're trimming these things off. I could be wrong. And sometimes the devs pop in chat, maybe a little less so as of late because people like to think that I'm overly negative. I'm just having realistic conversations with you guys though, right? And James says, what the actual fuck? Sorry, my language. No, you're good, man. People are allowed to express themselves here as long as it's in good faith. I want to hear what you guys have to say. James says, sorry for the language, but this is so scuffed. The game was released 2 to 3 years early, in my opinion. And potentially, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of systems that we're still missing. Orabel says 1.0 is coming by the end of fall or early winter, they said, before the kids go back to school in the winter. Yeah, it's not far off, right? It's really not far off. Maven, a continuation of what she was saying is I suspect there's still a Q&A group looking at an alt build. And there could be. There could be. I just don't have any evidence to really. I only can go based on the things that we have seen on the forward-facing stuff. I can make inferences and assumptions on things, sure. But I have nothing really to show or prove one way or the other at the end of the day. We can only go based on what they're telling us. But I think that they need to get these systems in place in order to release. So what else do they say about this? They say for early access, we decided to keep it in. So they made the conscious choice to keep the known bug in the game that is giving some people more tokens. I find this very confusing because this is going to I wonder who's going to get these extra tokens, but some people are going to have extra tokens for some reason. They say it's going to be fixed at release, which leads me to believe they already know it and the issue and have a fix for it, but they wanted to leave it in so that we could, quote, experiment with more tokens for a little while. But who determined who gets those extra tokens? Doesn't really seem too fair. You know, you could have bought a 4-token package and maybe someone who bought a 1-token package, they get like, what, 10, 15 tokens? I have no idea. Dirty D Gaming says more money, more content. What do you mean? You think if we give them more money, we get more content? Is that what you're saying? James says 100% DOA if they follow through. I mean, I'm not sure how much worse it could be because, again, you have 300 people, 271 playing right now, 307 24-hour peak. We had a peak of, what was the peak for this last update? 371 was the peak for their last update. The numbers are so low as it is. Maybe they're just kind of Hail Mary. I don't know. I'm not sure. Dirty D says they at least have skins and other stuff ready for 1.0. They already stated old stuff like armor, skins, and other stuff will come back at launch. Have they said that? Have they said that we're going to be getting some of the armor skins and things back? I know that they said they're not really going down the microtransaction path, which that's actually great to hear. I'm not a big fan of microtransactions, if I'm being honest. Crimson Beard says, all games only get one 1.0 launch, and it's crucial. So I'm hoping they are sandbagging, but I agree. I think it's DOA. Crimson Beard goes on to say, sounds like they are letting solo plot players take a test drive to spend more money, maybe, potentially. Z, how's it going, man? Welcome into the stream. He says, kind of feel like they had a plan, then they cut the dev team, then progress halted. They took stuff away, revamped the roadmap, and are now pushing away to get money back into the project. Potentially, but I think honestly, all of the money that they made from Steam was a small amount of money compared to the funding they got from their funders. I'm going to take a quick drink of water because my throat's a little dry, and then we're going to continue this conversation here. I'm going to fire up some lo-fi in the background, some nice quiet lo-fi for us to chill to as well while we chat about the rest of this. But let me grab some water real quick, and then we'll continue. Just a couple seconds. Havoc says they keep showing armor that's not available in-game and promo materials. Well, they also were really heavy in the mounts in their promo materials. And again, they're opening like demonstrations of what the game was going to be was a much different game than what we have now. Dirty D Gaming says, and the way they talk the PvP area will be fully done by 1.0. I guess we could hope, because the people who do like PvP will be able to engage in that then, but not everyone likes PvP. I know a lot of people who are just kind of like, meh, I just really want to role play. Like, Aura, you're a big role player, I know, like, and there's several other people, big role players in here. So people just want to role play, right? And they don't want to be subject to a lot of these different things. And they say that there's that separation, but I can't help but feel like if you want to be able to get those oils, to have the best gear in the game, to be able to go and eventually maybe fight those bosses and stuff, you're kind of forced into the PvP scene. It's interesting to see how it's all going to unfold. But yeah, I mean, at very least, hopefully we get 1.0 PvP. And they have said that they're kind of going with the whole extraction PvP gameplay, which I don't really know of too many people who got into PAX Day thinking that one day this was going to be like an extraction PvP game. Let's see what other chat. They redid armor and clothes entirely over again, hence why the clothes got added back. And they kind of locked it behind its own wall now too. It used to be you had to level up your light armor in order to wear the cool looking armors. Now you have to level up your tailoring, or somehow as a role player acquire unfathomable amounts of coin to get armor and aesthetic stuff that has no stats and serves no purpose other than to express yourself through roleplay. It's kind of a weird thing. We talked about that on past stream too, so I don't want to rehash too many of those things unless you guys want to talk more about those, but they're keeping that bug in there, which is going to allow some people to have more plots. That's going to be interesting to see how that transpires. And this is the key point right here. Important. Keep in mind that tokens are required not only to place new plots, but also to sustain the existing ones. So one token is good to get a plot for a month. And then when that month expires, you'll need a token to keep that plot for a month. Keep that in mind. James says, I love extraction shooters and all, but that's not what I bought into this game for. Exactly. I think a lot of people are in that same mindset. If I want that, I'd stick to either Albion or Warborn. Aura says, we need opt-in dueling like Elder Scrolls Online so we can have optional combat in Heartlands. Yeah, for roleplay and stuff, I think would be awesome as well. And for events, can you imagine having an awesome event where you have some blood sport, you know, in an arena and things like that? I always think of things through a roleplay lens because we're big role players. We like to roleplay and stuff. We like to have fun stories and go on adventures with our friends and things like that. But yeah, so it's important to remember that tokens are not just to place new ones, there's to sustain your existing ones. So if you overspend on your tokens on new plots, it could prevent you from renewing your current plots. So use them carefully, they say. For instance, if you have like 4 tokens and you use them all on plots and you don't get 4 tokens next month, you're not going to be able to renew them. You may want to spend maybe 1 token to get 1 plot and then you could have it for 4 months. They have not really told us if we're going to be getting more tokens every month or if we're just going to get 4 tokens and that's it. So then we'll have to stretch them out. Honestly, we don't, it's not clear. We don't really know. Maybe they tell us down further. I'm not sure. But they say placing a plot now creates a plot slot. And this makes sense. It's a little confusing when you think about it because there's a new system, but this does make sense. So you'll take your plot token, you'll spend it to get a plot slot that will consume that token. So if you only had 1 token, it'll get consumed and now you have a plot slot. And each token keeps a plot slot active for 1 whole month. By default, plot slots will attempt to renew automatically, and that is very important for what we're about to read below. Once their time runs out, it'll consume another token, if you have one available. You can disable the auto renew if you'd prefer to manage your tokens manually. So if for whatever reason you would like to manage your tokens by hand, you can do so. You just got to go in there, disable the auto renew thing. Havoc says, I'll be honest, we are going to allow our plots to expire, just be finished until 1.0. It was never meant to last forever. James says, already read that one. Dirty D says, Orabel, they stated old armor skins will be back for launch in Discord. Oh, did they? See, and not a lot of people want to dig. That's one of the problems too with their communication. Not everybody wants to dig through walls and walls of text on the Discord, so it's kind of hard to find some things on there sometimes. But Yeah, so it sounds like maybe if that is true, the old armor skins will be coming back for 1.0 launch. That'll be interesting. Let's see what else they say here about these. If a plot slot is not renewed, this is the point that for Drill was talking about. So for Drill, this is going into a little about how the plots get frozen. If a plot slot is not renewed, it becomes frozen. A frozen plot cannot be built on, and if it isn't renewed within 3 days, you have a 3-day grace period. Both the plot and its related plot slot will be automatically released. Now, I think when they say released, yeah, they say it right here. You can, of course, release a plot at any time, as was the case before, and place a new one free of charge. So if you choose to like move your plot, you absolutely can. You can release it, and your time on that plot slot can be replaced and used somewhere else. So if you use 15 days of a plot here, you can lift that plot and you can move it somewhere else and place it down for the remainder of the 15 days. I wonder what happens if you just pick up the plot and hold it. I would imagine it does not pause your time. So if it takes you a couple days or something to transition over and you go from 15 to 14 to 13 days without the plot even being placed in the world, I wonder if you just lose that time. I would imagine so. But once you replace the plot down, it'll run out the rest of its plot slot lifetime. And they say in the plot slot that is now empty, so you'll get to place a free one free of charge in the plot slot that was now empty until the plot slot expires, of course. And here's a little picture of what that's going to look like. Let me try and get this centered as best I can. 1 second here, right about there. So we have buildings, and you have plots, and you have building. So these are the two building tabs you're going to have. New plot, use the empty slots below. Empty slot, place a new plot in this slot. Available for 11 days. It's going to be confusing, guys, until we get the hang of it and we get our hands on it. Through says, I protest the game until they add back wooden pegs. That's freaking hilarious, dude. Havoc says 1.0 will be an opportunity for an even better build at Maven Moon with all of the lessons learned from 1.0. Oh, did I miss something? Maven says, I was fortunate to see your build, Havoc. You did a great job. Oh, you're talking about, I'll be honest, going to allow your plots to expire. Oh, because you're saying you're going to let your plots expire. I see what you're saying. You'll have opportunity at 1.0. with all your lessons learned to build stuff. Crimson Beard says, imagine if we had horses so we could joust. I've said that for a long time. That would be so freaking cool to be able to joust in an arena built by players and spectators can bet. That would be amazing. And if we had player-to-player trading, you could have a bookie where they're dumping all the gold in, and you could have odds and payouts and all kinds of cool stuff. That'd be really, really cool. And do the same with a gladiator arena for duels. And how freaking fun would that be, right? But alas, it's but a dream. So you can see this is available for 11 days here, available for 24 hours on this empty slot. Current character, you have your name, and I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it's their location, I guess. Expires in 5 days. So that's a little bit of what that plot placement window is going to look like. They do have a little bit more information for us. After Thursday's maintenance, all existing plots will start with, oh, and this is huge, this is really, really big information. All the plots after tomorrow's maintenance, guys, are only going to start with 3 days remaining before they expire and become frozen. Super, super important, because if you did not log in since early August, you have not yet received any tokens. This is really, really big information, because some people, if they're not done with their build yet or done with all of the stuff that they wanted to do in early access, they're going to need to know about this. Absolutely massive information here. If you did not log in since early August, you will not have any plot tokens accredited to your account. You'll need to log in within 6 days after the maintenance to ensure you get your tokens and thus being able to keep your plots active. Now, how I read this is, if you have logged in since August, you already have your tokens on your account, right? That's how I'm reading that. Because they're saying if you did not log in since August, and they're not even specific, they just say early August, you will not have your plot tokens yet, which means you need to log in within 6 days, or you're going to lose your plots. That leads me to believe if you have logged in since August, which several people have, you should already have your tokens. Thus, I'm thinking what that means is it will automatically renew because the plots by default are set to auto renew. Now, I would be very, very careful with this, guys. I would be very careful with this because what if there's a bug and it doesn't register or automatically renew? This is a brand new system. It's bound to have issues. I would be very, very careful with this. If you intend to keep your plots through the rest of early access, I would make absolutely positively sure that you log in tomorrow, or at very least within the 6 days. The earlier the better. Make sure you get those tokens. Make sure they're set to auto renew and your plots don't get frozen, because once the plots get frozen, 3 days later, they will go poof. So if you do not log in to receive your tokens after 6 days of inactivity following the maintenance, all plots will be removed from the world. And any items and stuff like that, sure, it'll go into your redeeming queue. We've seen problems with the redeeming queue as well, though, where those items that go into the redeeming queue, you don't always get everything back. You get a portion of them back. I don't know if 3 days is long enough, guys. I'd like to see a little bit more grace with the testers here, but this is not going to end well for a lot of bigger communities as well, because Templar has our guild bank on one of his plots. And I think Templar, you're in the chat here, so hopefully we can get the people we need to log in, because our city is 100 plots. It's built by a lot of people. A lot of different people would need to log in. Otherwise, they're going to lose. We're going to lose massive portions of our city. It's all going to be in ruins. It's going to really be a hindrance to a lot of things. That being said, we would have to log in and take every item out of the guild bank, move all the chests one by one, replace all the items. It would be an absolute nightmare. Templar says, I'll log in tomorrow. Don't worry. I appreciate that, brother. Hopefully everybody can log in to help Bloodhaven remain where it is for the duration of the testing phase. I know the interest in PAX Day is not that high. I know that. But if you guys could, for me, at least log in to make sure that it doesn't expire and Swiss cheese the city and stuff, because all of our plots are not held by one person. But if it happens, it happens, right? This is a testing phase. It is what it is, right? I mean, it would suck. It would really suck, especially because all those materials would go into that person's redeeming queue, and hopefully they would get all of it, but we've seen where you're not really getting all of your stuff back in your redeeming queue. Welcome in, Emerald. Great to have you. I did that for our artisan hall all yesterday afternoon and night, chest by chest, all mats. That is just, it's crazy. It's crazy that we have to do that stuff. And ultimately it doesn't really matter, because probably in the next couple months, or maybe even in a month, the whole world's going to wipe and we're going 1.0 anyways. So, but I appreciate Templar and everyone else who's going to log in and take care of that stuff. Havoc says, to be fair, if it falls on a weekend, I may not get to something like this till the weekend. Or if it falls on a weekday, sorry, Havoc is saying. Yeah, and that's why I'm not sure if 3 days is long enough. I mean, there are some absolutely beautiful builds which are going to go to ruins. Pickle says, I logged in 20 minutes ago. Both accounts will log in tomorrow as well. Appreciate you, Pickle. Loop says, logging in now, and it looks amazing. A lot has changed. I'm going to hop in there just to check out the visuals and things like that. And let's see what else they have to say. When a plot is removed, whether you release it by yourself or it expires automatically, the remaining time on that plot slot is preserved, allowing you to reuse it for a new placement later. And then tutorials, we added some tutorials to PAX Day to make it easier for new players. If you prefer to skip the full tutorial, we recommend opening the plot menu and checking out the dedicated tutorial there before disabling the rest. They really want people to test this dedicated tutorial to the plot stuff. And then performance. We made some changes on how the game lighting works by adding some adjustments in culling range and shadow casting. These improvements should help boost performance, particularly in areas with a lot of construction. So there you go. That is the autumn content update. It is really more of a system update. Havoc says, raises the reason why I wish one person could control more than 4 plots. If I could just buy 30 plots and not have to worry about forgetful clanmates. Exactly, yeah. Ange, thank you for the Tangia. Evil Maxwell. That's a great one. Appreciate you. Thank you for that, Tangia. Yes, I agree, Havoc. And I have a theory about that. I think the reason they're not going to allow us to transfer tokens at least a little short while after 1.0 is because they know that people have purchased multiple accounts, and if you could gift your tokens, everybody would funnel them into one account, and I don't think they want people doing that. They want all of these plots, because remember, your plot tokens are only good for 12 months. So what they want to happen is they want a lot of these plot tokens to expire. They want a lot of them, some people have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20, 30, 40. I don't know how many accounts people have. Some people have like 50 plots. They want a lot of those tokens to expire. If that's just my theory. But I think that that's what they're doing. I think they're making it to where all these things are going to expire. If you don't use them, you only have a year to place your tokens, which means I got to log into this account, that account, use my tokens, and then those tokens are going to expire. So now those accounts are kind of useless to me, and people are going to be selling accounts and trying to do whatever they're going to be doing, and it's going to be kind of crazy, honestly. But I think eventually, because they've said that in the future, they'd love to be able to have people be able to purchase more plot tokens and or gift them potentially. Blimpy says they definitely need some kind of system for communal plots. That'd be interesting. Yeah, like if you could donate plots to your guild and then the guild leadership could choose how they want to do with it. That'd be interesting. Havoc says, I want to sponsor more players in the game. Oda says, if I could only make blueprints of bases people built before, that would be really cool. I love that idea. Being able to make a blueprint and then you could kind of paste a ghost of it in the world and then you could rebuild it based off that blueprint. That would be freaking awesome. All you got to do is like get the materials, come back, do the work to like rebuild it, but you could see what it was like and have a blue. That'd be really, really cool. I like that. But guys, I know that this is not the best of news, right? This isn't the greatest news. We're losing the launcher. We're getting a monetization system. We're not getting any new content anytime soon, it looks like. I know that it could be hard. I have felt the aura of sadness. A lot of people really are holding out. Exactly, sad hamster. A lot of people are really holding out for PAX Day. And I'm one of those people. I think so many people want this game to succeed more than you could ever imagine. This could be people's forever game. But the whole PvP being the main focus of the game, it doesn't work with a lot of people. From the vast majority of individuals I've spoken to, inside and outside of just my own community, people really want that PvE adventure and that great roleplay platform. I know that it is sad to see no content for so long and feeling like it's going down the wrong path and having to talk about these hard things. But I think it's important that we do talk about the hard things. If you're looking for rainbows and butterflies, there are places to go and get those rainbows and butterflies. I'm not here to be all doom and gloom. I really have high hopes for PAX Day. I think it would not take much to make it an absolutely amazing game. Game of the year would not take much, but they need to put in that work towards those systems that are the reason why people really bought into this game in the first place. They need to deliver on that original vision, not some extractor PvP gameplay, not cutting all of the cool features that we really, really wanted in the game because they're just, quote, too hard. At times we're going to have to talk about the hard things on the channel here. And as of late, we haven't had a whole lot of good news. The good news is, though, and I'm here to tell you guys, that we're all in this together. This is all about community. This is about giving you guys a voice, a place for you to air your frustrations, but also be hopeful at the same time. I do my best to keep things as positive as I possibly can without blowing smoke up anyone's bum, because that's not my job here. If you're looking for that, like I said, there's other places where you can go to get the smoke blown. I'm here to keep it real and to have honest discussions with you guys and be honest in all things and act in good faith. That's what the Order of the Blood Brothers stands for. In-game and out of game, we are here to have fun and to build up a community where there is no drama, there's no stress, there's no worry. We can hop into whatever game it may be and just truly enjoy our experiences together. Whether it be PAX Day, whether it be Ashes, whether it be Star Citizen, whether it be World of Warcraft, or whatever adventure comes our way, we are going to tackle it together. We are going to go from world to world, and we are going to have fun together. So if you guys are feeling lost right now, If you are feeling the despair, Maxwell Invasion, holy crap, Black Pickle, thank you for the absolutely massive, ginormous super chat. He says, appreciated. Pickle, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know, brother. I appreciate you and every single person who has joined our community and become friends, become family. That's what Blood Brothers and Cheeky Buggers United is all about. Another Maxwell Invasion. Pickle, holy crap, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so freaking much. Wow. Unbelievable. Unfathomable. Thank you, Pickle. Really, truly appreciate you, brother. The fun memories that we have had in PAX Day, they will never be lost. They will always live in our hearts. They will always live in our minds. They will forever be saved on my YouTube channel. And hopefully, with our conjoined efforts and willpower, maybe Mainframe can pull this off. And I'm going to be here every step of the way, guys. But I don't want people to be lost in despair and hopelessness and sadness and all of this stuff. Come and play other games with us. When PAX Day has something where people want to hop back in, you bet your ass we're going to be there. And we still hop in from time to time. We still have people who are the diehards. Don't get me wrong. There's still people who are going in there regardless, trying to keep the roleplay scene alive and having fun. Come and check out other stuff with us. Whether it's one of our private servers, or if it's Star Citizen, or if it's Ashes, whatever it may be. Come on over, join the Cheeky Buggers United, get vetted, get verified, hop into every adventure that we go on with us, and I promise you, you will find brotherhood and friendship and loyalty unlike you have found anywhere else. You will find a group of people so willing to give you their all and give you every opportunity to be their friend that you will not find anywhere else. This community is what it's all about. It's why we fight so hard for games, and it's why we take it so hard when games that we truly love and want to see successful fail, because this is our avenue for friendship. This is our avenue for socializing. You know, some people say, oh, video games are a waste of time. This is where we go on adventures. There's some people who maybe you're wheelchair bound, maybe you're perfectly able-bodied and everything in between, but this is where we choose to go on our adventures together, to have those bonds and those friendships flourish. These worlds are the catalysts for that. So I'm right there with you. It hurts my very soul. It hurts my heart when we don't have a lot to talk about, or we have to talk about hard things, right? And I'm hoping that one day PAX Day proves us wrong and they turn it around and 1.0 comes and it's this amazing game, or maybe it's a year after 1.0. Whenever that happens, we will be here waiting. And we will be playing anything that comes our way. So come on over, guys. Join the Cheeky Buggers United. Join the Order of the Blood Brothers. Join the Fellowship of the Free Cities. If you are looking for awesome roleplay, regardless of what your RP style is, if you want to start up your own kingdom, if you want to be bandits, but good faith bandits, if you want to be freedom fighters, if you want to be a lone wolf, if you want to be a cult of witches or a coven out in the woods, and you have all of this really cool roleplay, we want that roleplay. We absolutely love that roleplay. Regardless of what game it's in, we love that roleplay. Check out our wiki if you guys want to see a bunch of really cool backstories. I am absolutely looking forward to building up our lore even more than we already have, expanding the Pantheon of 9, and building off of all of the rituals and fun stuff that we have done already. So if you guys are looking, if you're a community or you're a group of people and you're looking for a fun, open and welcoming roleplay community with a awesome charter that I put together with the help of a lot of really, really great role players, come on over to Cheeky Buggers United, join the Fellowship of the Free Cities, bring your group with you. We'll sit down, we'll have a chat. I'll tell you how it all works. We promote you from within to help your community flourish, because when you flourish, we flourish. It's all about having fun at the end of the day. If that sounds great to you, come on over, join all of the things, all of the stuff, and have some fun no matter what world we're in. Hell, who knows? Maybe we pop up a Conan server and we do a season in there. We can do whatever we want. We don't need to sit here and be super, super sad about the lack of content for PAX Day. We can do whatever we want, right, guys? So come on over, type !Discord. You'll get a link over to the Cheeky Buggers United Community Discord server where you can meet a litany of amazing people who will give you every opportunity to be their friend. If you would like to join the Order of the Blood Brothers, head on over to our website, www.cheekybugger.net, or type !website, Raster. Thank you so much for that. And you will get a link over to our website where you can fill out your very own application. We still have some pending applications. I apologize. I do my best to get through all of these, but we have a walled garden effect. We vet and verify every person who comes in. We whitelist people to make sure that they're going to be acting in good faith. We chat about who they are and what they're looking for, because I don't want to waste anybody's time, right? Maybe our community is not for you, and that's perfectly fine. No hard feelings at all. But we vet and verify every person for that reason. Cooter says, I'll even be your friend. I know I missed a bunch of chat while I went on my tangent there, but I appreciate each and every single one of you. Red says, Blood Brothers will forever be immortalized as one of the first real clans in PAX Day, with me being one of the first people to fist a bear to death as a joke. That was awesome. I remember that. But I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you guys for all the super chats and all the continued support, because that is what makes all of this possible. If you guys want to support my work, you can click that join button down below. We have all kinds of perks. We got some merch on the way, like I told you guys at the beginning. But I really appreciate you guys sitting down and having all these good faith conversations. And while we may not agree on every single topic, I'm perfectly okay with that. I can try and change your mind, you can try and change mine, or we can just agree to disagree, and we can all still be friends at the end of the day. I want everyone to be able to play every game the way that they want to play it, so they can have as much fun as possible. We could all walk out of our front doors tomorrow and get hit by a meteorite and it's all over, right? We should enjoy today playing fun games with great friends and making awesome memories. That's what it's all about. So if that sounds good to you, come on over and hang out with us while we play all kinds of fun games, whatever's going to come our way. But that is the autumn content update. That is what you guys need to be on the lookout for. Log in tomorrow, get your tokens, secure your plots if that's something you want to do. I have a feeling that we are on the heels of the 1.0 release. I have a feeling that these systems are getting fleshed out because we are getting closer and closer to that 1.0 release. I hope they're sandbagging. I have really high hopes for this game. I really, really hope that they can pull it off. Mainframe, if you're listening, we are rooting for you. I know at times it looks like we just have negative things to say. Give us some positive stuff to talk about. Give us some awesome features that people have been asking for, and then we'll have some really fun stuff to talk about. But if you're watching Mainframe, hey, if you want to sit down and have a chat, send me a message, void_lock over on Discord. We had a bunch of people in this stream, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mainframe, we're rooting for you. We really are. I really, really hope you guys can pull it off. Let's get back to that original vision that you guys had for the game. But until I see you guys in the next one, bye for now.